Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so my name is Jasmine Triplett, and I was the auditor in charge over this project. I would like to first thank my team for all their work that they've done to help us get to this point, and I also want to thank APD management and staff that are here today for all their work throughout the audit and their work to help recruit and hire sworn staff. The objective of our audit was to determine if APD is effectively, efficiently, and equitably recruiting and hiring sworn staff. To join APD, qualified applicants must pass a written examination, a background check, and a physical and mental examination to receive a conditional offer of employment. They then must attend an on-site orientation prior to the police academy. They also must attend and complete the police academy to become a police officer. So why do we look at APD's recruiting and hiring efforts? APD has experienced staffing shortages and has been struggling to attract enough candidates to fill their vacancy issues. As you see on the screen here, specifically from fiscal year 21 to 24, APD's vacancy rates have increased from 3% to 18%. Throughout this audit, we looked at the various goals, strategies, efforts, and programs APD has taken to address their vacancy issues. APD has two primary recruitment goals. The first is outlined in their 2024-2029 strategic plan, and that goal is to recruit a diverse and skilled workforce. The second was signed up when APD pledged to the 30 by 30 initiative in 2022. This pledge is a national pledge that law enforcement agencies can sign that shows their commitment to increase the percentage of women to 30% by 2030 in all sworn ranks. Our audit had two findings, and the first finding is that APD does not have an effective recruitment strategy to address their hiring issues. In the next couple of slides, I will go through and identify what that means and what we found. Best practices recommend that objectives are measurable, tied to specific recruitment actions, and include a time frame. What you see on the screen here at the top of APD's main recruitment objective to recruit a diverse and skilled workforce does not have those three things. Underneath it is an example from best practices of what a more specific or measurable objective could look like. Without a measurable objective, it's very difficult for the department to determine when they've reached their goal to recruit a diverse and skilled workforce, what that looks like. Secondly, APD lacks a recruitment action plan. Best practices note that these recruitment action plans should note who is going to do what is going to be done, and when it plans on being completed. APD's 2024-2029 strategic plan lists three strategies that you see here on the screen. However, they're very broad. These strategies were ultimately supposed to be turned into action plans as listed in the 2024-2029 strategic plan. However, as of March 2025, these have not been turned into specific action plans. These action plans allow the department to know exactly what steps they're going to take to move towards their objective. Additionally, when you look at the first one, to broaden the reach of their recruitment program through innovative outreach methods, APD is missing opportunities to spread their recruitment messages as far as possible by not coordinating their social media messages across all their social media pages in the department. While APD doesn't have measurable objectives or a recruitment strategy, they are taking steps to move towards recruiting a diverse and skilled workforce. Some of the things that they're doing are hosting events at military institutions, historically Black colleges and universities, and local high schools. Recruiters mention while they're at these events, they're proactive and they reach out to women about careers in law enforcement. Lastly, for finding one, we found that APD lacks a process to overall evaluate the success of their efforts. We don't have any specific metrics tied to those three strategies that I mentioned before. Additionally, we noticed some data reliability issues with their applicant tracking system. This is the system that captures all the data for every applicant that applies to APD. We found that some of the information is automatically captured into the system, but some information is manually inputted by staff, and that manually inputted information is inconsistently entered sometimes. What that leads to is APD having difficulties answering specific questions about the hiring process, such as who isn't showing up to the written test, what test date may or may not be the most successful, or how long it's taking them applicants on average to move from each phase of the hiring process. With this type of insight, APD could identify specific issues and target their efforts a bit more to add more success. This thing is acting funky. Next slide. Okay, that brings us to our second finding. So our second finding is tied more to APD's recruitment programs. We found that APD does not have a recruitment pipeline. A recruitment pipeline is a series of programs that are more a long-term strategy that allows interested applicants to engage with the department, build their skills and their familiarity with the department. By the time they apply to the academy, they already know exactly what they want to do. Next slide. APD has some recruitment-like programs, but overall lacks a coordinated recruitment program that moves interested applicants from one program to the next to the academy, ultimately. What you see here on the screen is 3 of APD's recruitment-like programs. The first is their Police Activity Leagues program. It engages with people from ages 8 to 15 years old at one Boys and Girls Club in Austin. However, it only has 2 staff members over the entire project, so that limits their ability to really engage with the community. Additionally, you have the Criminal Justice Pathway program, and that engages with high school and college students, but it's a one-time program also that goes out and engages with these students in individual talks, but it isn't a consistent long-term strategy that's building interested applicants' engagement with the department. And then for adults, we have the Reserve Officers Unit, where retired APD officers can come back on a temporary basis for special events to help out. None of these programs are part of a longer-term, consistent engagement that allows people to engage with the department to ultimately see and build the skills to join. Additionally, APD doesn't have an internship program. Best practices note that, we know that people cannot join APD until they're 20.5 years old. Best practices note that if you do not engage with applicants up until the age that they can join, you're liable to lose them. APD's youth programs engage with youth up until the college age, but again, it's not on a consistent long-term basis. APD used to have an internship program in the past, but due to staffing issues, had to cut that. We issued 4 recommendations based on the issues we saw in this audit. The first is to craft a recruitment strategy with measurable goals. The second is to update our standard operating procedures and train our staff to address our data reliability issues. The third is to coordinate recruitment posts on social media to maximize the reach of our recruitment messages. And the fourth is to create a recruitment pipeline that captures and retains interest in the department. Management has agreed with our recommendations, and that concludes our presentation. I'm available for any questions you may have.
I appreciate that.